providing millions of children with daily meals, improving their health, school attendance, and academic performance. This program reflects the post-apartheid government commitment to addressing the past inequalities and supporting holistic development for South African children. Before 1994, the healthcare system was deeply unequal, with disadvantaged children, particularly black children, having limited access to quality healthcare. The apartheid government policy resulted in significant disparities in which the outcomes with a high rate of preventable diseases and mortalities amongst the disadvantaged children. After 1994, the democratic government introduced significant reforms aimed at creating a more equitable healthcare system. These reforms include the expansion of primary healthcare services, free healthcare for young children, and targeted programs to improve the healthcare to disadvantaged children. While these progresses has been made in improving the access to healthcare outcomes, challenges remain, particularly in the equitable quality of care across all regions. They are but some of the achievements post-apartheid government. However, young people in South Africa are still faced with many socio-economic challenges, including high unemployment, social inequalities, drug and crime and gender-based violence and corruption. These pressing issues have created a generation that is increasingly delusioned and frustrated. Yet, despite these challenges, we are a striving nation. South Africa recently showcased its resilience and talent on the world stage of Olympic in France, where the athletics made us proud. We also celebrated the historic appointment of the first female Chief Justice, a testament that our nation is progressing in gender equality and justice. Just yesterday, our Springbok trampled against the All Blacks, once again proving that we are a force to be reckoned with. However, South Africa has recorded 156 days of sustained electricity supply, bringing an end of a record load shedding that had crippled our economic growth and forced business to raise prices to cover up the cost of energy security. This achievement underscores our capacity to overcome challenges and drive progress. However, not all is well. We must also address the concerning issues of extortions in the country, mainly in Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Eastern Cape, which have been causing severe distress to local businesses and communities. This rise in criminal activities aimed at extorting money from businesses is undermining the economic stability, delaying investment in the region. The ANC Youth League calls for immediate decisive action from the law enforcement, and we urge the Minister of Police, Comrade Thamsanqa Tu, to take strong measures to deal with criminal and restore safety and order in South Africa. This month, instead of celebrating, we will dedicate our efforts to address critical challenges head on. We will use the anniversary as a platform to drive meaningful change, ensure that the voice of the youth of South Africa are heard, and that the struggles of acknowledging them is addressed. The ANC Youth League stands resolute in its commitment to fight a better future for all young South Africans. On unemployment, to address South Africa's severe unemployment crisis, the Youth League has declared unemployment a disaster. If not addressed swiftly, it could lead to a widespread youth unrest with the potential to bear consequences for the economy. The South African population has increased from 7.6 million in 1924 to 60 million in 2024, an increase of 689.5%, and that's a state proportional increase in job opportunities to prevent a high level of unemployment. The failure to match economic growth with population increase can result in significant economic and social issues. The youth unemployment in particular is severe, which over 70% of African youth currently are out of work. This has led to a frustrated and has led young people to protest. The recent data indicates a 0.8% increase in unemployment, emphasizing that the youth needs more active public policies. The current policies fail to effectively link economic growth with low labor market capacity to observe the workers. Therefore, there is a need for policies that foster both economic growth and improve economic abilities to create jobs. To address this, there must be an increase of investment in capital infrastructure projects that can create jobs. Additionally, implement for presidential stimulus program, which will be central plan to aim in boosting the economic growth and create jobs through targeted initiatives. State-owned entities play a critical role in our economy, but are currently underperforming. The ANC Youth League is firm that there should be no privatization of state-owned entities. That we must change the business model of our state-owned entities to serve the developmental mandate, in particularly on commanding the heights of our economy. Eskom and Transnet play a critical role in the input of the cost across the economy. Therefore, you cannot afford to have those critical sectors of our economy under private hands. Electricity and transport have a potential to drive high cost of living crisis, to make our economy unproductive. It is important that these two productive forces must be kept cost effective to stimulate investment in productive sectors of our economy, to create much needed jobs in our economy. South African youth need jobs. We are saying the only way to create jobs into this country is to industrialize the South African economy. Beyond the focus on profit making, it is entirely achievable to place state-owned entities on a sustainable path, especially given that they have been surviving through guarantees from National Treasury and government. If well managed, SOEs can play a crucial role in leading a role of addressing the social and economic challenges that affect our country. The ANC Youth League also calls for reservation of specific industries for only South Africans for business opportunities and employment, which includes spaza shops, food deliveries, restaurants, securities, e-hailing services, construction, and many other similar sectors. These industries are crucial entry points into the job market, especially for young and unskilled workers. By prioritizing South Africans in these sectors meaningfully, it is meaningful progress that can be made to reduce unemployment and provide more opportunities for the youth to secure stable and dignified work. The strategic use for South African mineral resources is crucial. The ANC Youth League has made an important call that more than 70% of raw mineral resources must be exported. They must be used domestically to assist to reindustrialize the economy. Only 30% must be exported. This approach aims to leverage mineral resources to address developmental challenges and stimulate economic growth. Addressing the unemployment crisis requires a manifested approach, including tackling skills mismatches, fostering investment in capital infrastructure projects, ensuring that key economic sectors are reserved for South Africans only. All social transformation agents must work together to achieve economic and social benefits and continue to fight for national development and liberation. On the government of national unity. The ANC Youth League is closely monitoring the progress of the government of national unity. It is encouraged to see it functioning and intent. However, we are deeply disappointed by the recent remarks made by the Secretary General or the General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, who has labeled the ANC sellouts, for its decision to invite political parties to form part of the government of national unity. The ANC Youth League has got a very good relationship with the Young Communist League and will engage them on the unfortunate attack on the Secretary General of the African National Congress. We have also engaged the SG of the ANC to not respond on social media on critical, serious political matters which can be addressed in other platforms. Let's remind you that the ANC was not given a full mandate by South Africans to govern on its own. That's why we found ourselves under government of national unity, which includes the SACP. Anyone who has a problem with the structure of the government of national unity must immediately withdraw their deployees, prepare to win the next elections on their own, so that they can implement things the way they feel they should implement them. Now, everyone with the government of national unity is commanded by one president, which is President Ramaphosa, and the under government of the African National Congress, invited by the African National Congress, including the SACP. We remain dedicated to ensure that the GNU serves the interests of South Africans. South Africans don't want a lot of theories, but they want their lives to be changed. They want service delivery. They want to continue, we will continue to hold the GNU accountable. This includes not only those from the ANC, but also those from other parties involved in the national effort. We will engage with the government to ensure that the work is being done and that all leaders, regardless of their political affiliation, fulfill their responsibilities. Regarding holding deployees accountable, we will continue with our meetings to convene all deployees, ministers and deputy ministers at the House, to account for the work that they are doing under the government of national unity to represent the interest of the youth. The ANC Youth League cleanup campaign. The ANC Youth League will participate in a cleanup campaign working together with community members, law enforcement agencies, home affairs, and all responsible government entities on a program to fight against government-hijacked buildings, construction mafias, drug lords, and undocumented foreigners. The issue of undocumented foreigners in South Africa is a grave concern that must be addressed with urgent and firmness. The unchecked influx of undocumented foreigners, nationals, is a direct threat to our national security, economy, and social fiber. The recent reports, such as the recent bust of illegal syndicates involved in 80 million weight of smuggling of goods, the drug labs that we've seen in Limpopo, the highlights of several impacts of illegal migrants in our own country. This operation revealed how illegal networks undermine our economy, invade our taxes, and contribute to the criminal activities, including the extortion and drug trafficking. The ANC Youth League demands immediate strengthening of our border control mechanism to prevent the influx of undocumented national foreigners. It is imperative that we enforce a strict border security to safeguard our country's sovereignty and protect the interests of South African citizens. We are committed to addressing the employment of illegal foreigners in sectors that should be reserved for South Africans. We will work with the businesses and relevant stakeholders to ensure compliance with labor laws, prioritizing the employment of South African citizens. This is not mainly a matter of legal adherence, but a critical step towards reducing unemployment and ensuring that the economic benefits our country the economic benefit of our country is enjoyed by South African people. This month, instead of celebrating, we'll dedicate also our efforts to addressing all those socio-economic problems. On corruption. Corruption remains a significant obstacle to the progress and development of our nation. The ANC Youth League maintains a firm stance that those charged with corruption must be removed from government positions until they clear their names. If these individuals are ANC members, they must face internal disciplinary measures and be subjected to illegal elections. The ANC Youth League calls for a zero-tolerance approach to corruption within government and the private sector. We will not tolerate any attempt to shade corrupt individuals from accountability, regardless of their position or influence. The fight against corruption is not only about punishing wrongdoers, but it's also about restoring the integrity of our institutions and ensuring that the public resources are used for the benefit of South Africans. We also urge the government to expand the investigation and prosecution corruption cases, ensure that justice is served swiftly and transparently. The ANC Youth League will continue to monitor these efforts closely and hold those in power accountable for their own actions. Pre-elections commitments by the ANC and the President. On NEFSAS. Pre-elections, NEFSAS was collapsed by corruption, maladministration. We urgently called the Minister of Higher Education to resolve the maladministration in the entity. NEFSAS 2 is a huge transformation instrument to fail. It's too huge to fail. We will be on the ground mobilizing all stakeholders in the sector to ensure that NEFSAS and all institutions of higher learnings are placed at the top of the agenda of every meeting of government. Our country's economy relies on the knowledge of production center. The effectiveness is a priority. Now, NEFSAs must stop frustrating students. They must urgently pay for fees, pay for accommodation, pay for stipends as per the commitment made by the government of the ANC. On the employment and labor, the president has announced before elections a skills program of 23 billion to upskill the youth through the Department of Labor. We are calling on the president to fast-track the program as we are unhappy with the slow pace of the implementation of this program. On export quotas, the president has made a commitment on the reindustrialization program of the creation of jobs. We call upon the president to fast-track the implementation of this program, which will contribute towards job creation. We have put together a document to this effect. We will be meeting liberation forces across the SADC region and the continent to ensure that Africa's development is anchored on beneficiation of our mineral resources to create jobs for all our countries. Africa's youth to benefit. It is time for Africa to rise again. On the health, we will be making a follow-up on the Department of Health program, which aims on employing unemployed doctors. On the 80th anniversary, as the ANC Youth League, as we commemorate 80th anniversary of the Youth League, we will use the special month to address issues affecting the youth and particularly unemployed young people. Through the consultation meetings such as those we have had with SALGA and NAHAU, we will continue to engage various stakeholders of the organization to find solution to the pressing challenges. This month, the ANC Youth League will not organize a rally like how we always do it. The ANC Youth League on the 11th of October 2024 will organize a march to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange where we will submit a memorandum of demand that the JSE and other private sector partners must be able to play a crucial role to address the issues of the crisis of unemployment in South Africa. On the 10th of September, we will hold a conversation with former leaders of the Youth League to reflect on what they have done and the work that we must do moving forward. The ANC Youth League remains committed to struggle for a better future for all young people in South Africa. As we celebrate our 80th anniversary, we will do so with a renewed sense of purpose and determination to address the pressing issues facing our nation. We call on all young South Africans to join us in this fight and to actively participate in shaping the future of our country. The 80th anniversary of the Youth League should mark a turning point in the lives of our organization and its mother body. It should be defined by a recommitment to an historic ideal of national liberation. We'll continue to use the ANC Youth League as a voice of the voiceless without fear or favor. If our demands are not responded to, as per our pre-election commitment, we'll mobilize all young people to the doors of Union Building. Thank you.